Reticular activation system and goal setting. There are three subjects to me that are the most abstract of all. The third are women. Today I'm going to talk about the human brain, though. One specific faction of the human brain called the reticular activating system. What the reticular activating system is, it's a little piece of your brain at the stem, kind of up here near the column, the spinal area, and it's a filter. You see, your senses, all of your senses are on all the time. 24/7, 365. It only allows certain stimuli to get through to your consciousness or your awareness if they pose one of these prerequisites. If they're a perceived threat, if they are of perceived value to you, or if it's brought to your attention. For example, a mother who has just gone through 16 hours of labor and is as tired as can be and happens to fall asleep because of her exhaustion may be in the deepest REM sleep that exists. But as soon as that newborn baby turns over, what happens? Mom wakes up, doesn't she? Immediately. That's because her senses were still working, and her brain, because she's invested so much effort into childbearing and into growing the baby, perceives that as a threat, that baby turning over. Now, I have to say, my son, he sleeps with his eyes open. And I tried dangling some of his best perceived value things, such as Star Wars and Angry Birds and candy in front of him as he was sleeping, and it didn't work. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But there are times when even in your sleep, it can jolt you awake in complete awareness like this. Also, another thing that my children do that I think is pretty interesting, a little bit comically even, I wanted to point out this word perceived right here, because it doesn't really have to be a threat or it doesn't really have to add value. My children, thanks to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, perceive blueberries as a threat. And anytime they're in the vicinity, my children are aware of them because they don't want to turn into blueberries. Let's do a little test right now. All of your senses are working right now, right? Well, I'm going to bring some stuff to your attention that you're sensing and you don't even know it. Can you feel the shirt on your shoulders? You couldn't until I said it, could you? How about if you're married, can you now feel the ring on your finger now that I mention it? You guys have been looking at this board for 20 minutes now. Can you see the green dots? You saw them before, but maybe you weren't. It wasn't forward in your consciousness at this time. Also, the reticular activating system does not understand the word no or don't. If I tell you don't think of an elephant, what are you thinking of? An elephant. I tried that with Google as well, by the way, and it worked. Don't show me images of cats. And actually, one of the things I read about the reticular activating system is it's kind of like Google. Google's got this big web out there and it filters out things. And that's why I wanted to bring this guy up right here. Okay, the reticular activating system and goals. You guys have all heard it before. You've probably experienced it. Anytime you buy a new car, what is it you see out on the road all day long, every day? Not just the same kind of car that you have, but the same color, the same model. You see your exact same car out there all the time. And it's not because there are any more out there. It's just your reticular activating system. Finally, that car added value to your life. So you're aware of it now every time you see it. Well, a less talked about phenomenon that really has to do with this also is before you get your new car, a lot of times you decide which one you want, don't you? You even decide what color, what model, etc., etc. And people also experience this when they make the goal to buy the new car. As soon as you know which one you want, you start seeing it. You're aware of it every time it passes by. And so I wanted to bring that up because it's not just after you buy it, but as soon as you make the goal to have something, your reticular activating system starts making you aware of ways to get it around you. Any kind of stimuli or stimulus. Don't know which one's the correct term. Your reticular activation system can also be trained. So when you make goals, it's kind of a little bit interesting because a lot of times we make goals to things that are, I don't know how it works exactly, I'm still kind of new to this concept, but biologically, our reticular activation system sees as a threat. So we can train our minds to get that paradigm of those goals being a threat out. And I don't know every method to do so, but I thought of a few, and I've learned a few as I've researched this. The first one would be place an image of your goal in front of you. A written goal is great and is advisable, but if you want that Hawaii trip that Cheryl talked about recently, or if you want that car, it probably would even do better to have a picture of that right in front of you, as well as a written goal. Number two, contemplate the benefits of reaching your goal. Again, this goes back to those things can be threats. You don't mean them to be, but somehow biologically they're perceived as threats. But if you take enough time to actually consider what are the benefits of this goal that I'm making, slowly your reticular activation system will start to turn that paradigm around. And then third, this is the one that I like the best. It's a little bit different than contemplating the benefits. It's imagine what it will feel like once you accomplish your goal. For example, what will the wind feel like on my face when I make it to Hawaii? Or what will my new car smell like? Or how will people look at me? What will the sounds be of the ocean on my vacation? Just use all your senses. The more senses that you use and the more you build that goal up in your mind, your reticular activation system will start to not only diminish that perceived threat, but it'll turn it around. It was on a previous slide, but it'll make it have perceived value to you. And it'll start noticing things around you that it hadn't noticed before for the attainment of that goal. Okay, we've learned a little bit about reticular activation system today. It's a fun word, it's a fun concept, and as I said just a minute ago, it's a new concept to me, and I've been working at this, and it's been a lot of fun. I wanted to invite you guys to join the journey with me, and if you find anything out that perhaps I haven't here, please feel free to reach out to me. So let's go on a journey to enhance our reticular activation system. Adam, Toastmaster.